Here's a word: inculcate. I was just looking at it the other day. We talk about synchronicity and stuff. And what's his name? Martinez Perspective. He mentioned inculcate, and I was just looking at that today. So I've titled the video The Power of Inculcation and Emotion. So the thing is with emotion, it's what you emote by movement, your motion, your in motion, emotion. Inculcation, or to inculcate, that means to repetitively repeat instruction for education purposes. So Martinez Perspective, obviously famous on Omegle, or Omengla, as one of the guys was saying it. He's saying inculcate our message, repeat repetitively the instruction for the education. And this is the power. The power is in the repetitiveness. See, if I keep going to the left and I keep repetitively repeating that forever, I'm basically going to be stuck, aren't I? If I, inculcate to the right, I'm going to be stuck forever, repetitively repeating the instruction, or repeating the instruction over and over. So the thing is, with education, as it is, education, the narrative, the current narrative is to educate in a way that inculcates a faux message, F-A-U-X, a wrong message, a fail message. Fail is the word for wrong in Swedish, but fail in English is fail, so it's a fail message. It's the message to dismantle, to deconstruct. It's the wrong message. It's the message of the tribe, the enemy of us and our people and our land and our interests and our legacy and our heritage. So the power of inculcation to move forward would be to, as Shakespeare said, and a lot of people use the Shakespeare quote out of context, which can suit the context, but by wrapping it up in the wrong context, I find that it's a better context to put it in this context. And that is, we're all actors on a stage, and the whole world is the stage. Now that's probably not the direct quote that goes on, but those two pieces, the whole world is a stage and we're all actors upon it. So therefore, who's the director? Who's wrote the script? The narrative. Which narrative are we following? The politically correct one? Well, yeah. The correct politically correct, not the Marxist politically correct that we're being given to follow. We don't need to be given instruction to know how to follow our own instinct, being hunger, the need for shelter, the need for warmth, the need for luxury, the need to breed among ourselves and thrive and prosper and build that legacy, continue on with this amazing legacy that we have. And that's the power of inculcation in respect to pushing our narrative. The more our narrative is pushed, the more we actually hit at the heart of our people with the right message. And this is important because it's a limited message. It's a limited message in that it's a package. The cultural Marxist, Freudio-Marxist, you know, Leninist, Marxist, Stalinist, Marxist, Maoist, Leninist, the communist, Bolshevik faux message, you know, this message of materialism, dialectical materialism, historical and dialectical materialism. That is about the government giving you the ideas to think, giving you the material world to be in, you know, to exist in. Not for you to blossom and flourish and prosper of your own volition and the volition of those around you in a harmonious society, you know, well-balanced structure that is conducive to nature, to our nature, to the nature that surrounds us, and can be so much more perfect in its essence, in a poetic sense. So therefore, the power of inculcation is repeating that message among ourselves as the mantra. You know, stay on the message, repeat the message over and over again, so it can't be bombarded as it has been covertly through the TV, through the censored bookshelves, through the media, through Hollywood, you know, through all of these examples which stack up to a hell of a lot of propaganda against the way of nature. And that's what we're seeing as a power of inculcation from the opponents, the enemy of man, the enemy of nature, the materialists. So there are those who are caught in between, because it is a bit of a mess. But there are those who are not caught in between, and they know who they are. And there are those who are, you know, to the extreme of the opposing side, and we know who we are. So the idea of, in my mind, the mantra I've repeated from whenever I first came into this game 12 years ago, full-time study: we need fresh air, fresh water, wholesome food, wholesome living, you know, and protect our interests, protect our legacy, protect our heritage. Then we're fine. So that is inculcation, inculcatable. if that's a word. If it's not, I've created a new word: inculcatable. That is repeatable over and over again. You know, this is how it works. So the more hands to the pump, many hands make light work. In other words, the more people who are sharing the information, the less the burden on those who are sharing the information. Correct? So the push for us is to reach the purity of the message, so that everywhere the correct message is being, you know, it's being broadcast among our friends, neighbours, families, so that they can capture it and they can say, well, I haven't got an argument against this, or this is the argument I have against that. So it opens the correct means of dialogue versus the materialist way of closing the dialogue, controlling the narrative, keeping out any true opposition, and creating the faux opposition, creating the fake opposition, and running the narrative from there. You know, if there's something like a happening, I mean, how many movies are going to come out now about COVID? I don't know if any of the movies have come out, like, because Hollywood was shut down. And Hollywood, according to Vanity Fair, asked the US government for reparations. So these are the types of people that we're dealing with. Now, I'm not saying that the workers in Hollywood, you know, the janitors and cameramen, probably, you know, the people who are on bottom dollar, as it were, yeah, they're probably all on dodgy contracts, aren't they? But the bigwigs who make all the money, You know, they know who they are. We know who they are. They'll be the ones who'll be looking for the big fork outs, like happens here in UK with Rishi Sunak, flaming importer from Goldman Sachs. Gave all his buds all the big wedge. Well, now they're struggling, aren't they? They're always struggling when it comes to accountancy and open up the books and see what's in the books. What do the books say? Where's all the money gone? Where's it been going? Where's the distribution? The people are left with nothing. So this is the power of inculcation and emotion, is to, when you have that purity of message, when you're moving forward with the correct message, when everything is driven by an emotional drive, it can't be tarnished, it can't be tainted. People will recognize it. When did you see a politician with true thriving, you know, with a driving spirit to get things done, to make things happen? When did you see that? Other than to rob everyone, there's not a politician alive who's not on the make currently. And it's a wrong direction. It's part of the fake narrative that bombards us with all of the politically correct cultural Marxism, Freudian Marxism. Freudo-Marxism is where they were trying to implant Marxism into people's heads, and it failed. They took the works of Freud and the works of Marx because they couldn't push it on the west of Europe. Look it up. It's in Wikipedia. I've spoke about it before. So they're at an impasse. You know, there's a few directions this can go. They've closed the world down. I didn't close the world down. You know, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure everyone you know didn't. But they have, because they've got the clout, the power. Your Alan Dershowitzes, your Donald Trump, your Epsteins, your Lord Janners, these types of folk. Leon Hoffman, who's now changed his name to Lenny Hoffman after his name was broadcast. He changed it on Wikipedia like a little sly ass. But I keep checking all of the names, keep checking where are these bods on the internet, and a lot of them have taken a lot of the information off the internet. But the footprints there, Wayback Machine's there. So this dialectic has had everyone's, what's the word? Everyone running after their own tail, thinking that they're doing the right thing. This is the Marxian dialectic as opposed to the Hegelian dialectic. The Hegelian dialectic about idealism. So when you say something, I wish to go to the shop. I wish to have a nice jolly walk down to the shop, whistling a nice little tune on a sunny day, listening to the birds singing, and everybody's living a pleasant life. But not in the Marxist dialectic. The Marxist dialectic is, you've had your order to go to the shop and you will pay with the usury money. You know, there's a branch difference between Hegelian dialectic and the Marxist dialectic. Go and read Stalin's Historical and Dialectical Materialism, published in 1938, in September 1938, 1 year before the start of World War II, which was not declared by Germany. It was declared on Germany. A lot of people think Germany were the aggressors. There's a dialectic right off the bat. Germany was only passing to the part of Germany that had been broken up by the Versailles Treaty, and the people were asking for help. It was Germany, it belonged to Germany, and the only way to access it was through the Danzig corridor. So it was a problem created for them in like a mousetrap, and you know, the consequences are still in play currently, and let's see how it plays out. As some of the lads are saying on the Goyim TV, let's see how the chips fall. Thanks for your attention. Bye.